but I don't accept to sitting quietly by and let these idiots attack me with false accusations. No.
You admitted it! Are you attacking yourself? I know you deleted the tweet, but it's you! You're the one who admitted it! There's a new list, everybody. A list that has been put out by the purveyors of anti-wokeness. It's called the Woke Content Detector Curated List of Games. Yes, the Woke Content Detector's curated list of games. And I gotta be honest with you, it's profoundly sad. Really sad. I just for, you know, all of these anti-woke, anti-SJW, anti-feminist, anti-fucking LGBTQ plus assholes to see what they're reduced to. Because eventually, what do you have left? If, like, Stardew Valley is something that you're not supposed to be able to play because it subtly promotes LGBTQ plus indoctrination because two characters can marry each other of the same sex in the game, even though it's a very like asexual game. Like if you ever played Stardew Valley, you realize how absolutely absurd it is to think that that is somehow insidious and going to be indoctrinating people into the gay. But I digress. But a lot of these games, I mean, these are some of the top tier games. You know, Starfield, obviously we understand. Fucking pronouns, fucking modern day California shit. So it's the Stargate, fine. Baldur's Gate 3, it considered like the best game of 2023. Hades? Hades is amazing. It's such a fun game, you know? All the Shovel Knight games are fucking awesome. I haven't played Hogwarts Legacy, but nice to see that Hogwarts Legacy did not make it. Even with fucking transphobic, you know, Queen of the Black Mold, wasn't enough. Tekken 8, Street Fighter 6, Elden Ring, Assassin's Creed 3 Remastered, Pacific Drive, Call of Duty, No More Heroes 3. Really? But that game's ridiculous. How could you possibly... okay. Cave Story, Red Dead Redemption 2. I just finished Red Dead Redemption 2. In my assessment, the greatest sandbox open game of all time, I think, that I've ever played. Absolute, beautiful masterpiece. And yes, the last act of the game, this is not a spoiler because I'm not going to talk about the spoilery parts, but the last act of the game being kind of focused around land back, indigenous rights. If you want to choose to do the noble thing, teaming up with indigenous land defenders to kill a bunch of like ex-Confederate soldiers. Fucking awesome. I remember playing that and thinking, because I played this game this year, so I'm way behind on it, you know, 2 years old. But I remember thinking, like, how did this escape the culture wars? Like, it was full on. Like, there were full missions where you would team up with indigenous land defenders and just shoot a bunch of white people, colonizers, in the face. And I was like, you think that this was the kind of stuff that was going to, like, really, really disturb right-wingers who were like, everything has to be, you know, pro on the message. But what is it for? Contains subtly pro LGBTQ plus imagery. There is, oh, this is, sorry, that's No More Heroes. So Red Dead Redemption 2 contains subtly pro DEI messaging. Several minor characters espouse modern day political sentiments. As an example, the NPC Sadie Adler behaves in the same way a modern day feminist would. Okay, so Sadie Adler, the character who is very mistreated by men and mistreated and abused, suddenly becomes a, let's just say, a very powerful fighter. Someone who is willing to take means into her own hands and kill people who cross her, and becomes just as effective a gunslinger as the menfolk. So I guess that's it, right? That's enough. That's like, oh, this is subtly pro DEI somehow because she becomes an effective fighter. The Elder Scrolls, Fallout 4, Fallout New Vegas, Grand Theft Auto 5, Borderlands, Terraria, overtly pro-LGBTQ plus messaging. It includes a retroactive removal of gender selection from the character creation menu. Team Fortress 2, Alien Swarm, The Witcher 3, all the Witchers actually. Oh no, the other ones are kind of okay. Oh, so The Witcher 2 and The Witcher 1 contain no woke content. No woke content, y'all. So if you want to play a completely politically free game, play The Witcher Enhanced Edition and The Witcher 2. Now, I haven't played The Witcher 1 and 2, so I can't speak to them if they are effectively anti-woke, but that's pretty wild that these are the only two games so far that you can play safely. Can't play Dark Souls. Can't even play Helldivers. I thought y'all loved Helldivers. Contains subtly pro-LGBTQ plus messaging. Contains subtly pro-DEI messaging. No clear distinction between male or female aside from the voice options. That's enough. Yeah, the women aren't feminine enough and the men aren't masculine enough, so that's pro DEI or something. The intro notably features a mixed race family. Like, you see how racist this all is. I know, like, they're always saying this isn't about racism. This is about, you know, representation, them pushing, you know, pro-woke messaging in video games and stuff like that. And it's like, one of the issues here was that there was a mixed-race family in the intro video. Cool. Cyberpunk, obviously. I mean, that's just, that one goes for without saying. The Final Fantasies. What was Final Fantasy VII? Pro-LGBTQ plus messaging, subtly pro-climate action messaging. That is true. Forced cross-dressing. That is also true. I can't deny that. That is a part of Final Fantasy VII. You start the game working for an eco-terrorism group. You do, but I'm sorry. Are you Team Shinra? You're the baddies. Like, you realize in a lot of these, you're the baddies. Like, you're the fucking baddies. Games you can play. Final Fantasy III, apparently. I don't think you've played it. That also would have a couple of the same issues you have with Final Fantasy VII. All the Command and Conquers are super unwoke. The remake is a little bit. Still contained the cross-dressing and dancing with sexually suggestive characters. Oh my. Hollow Knight woke. Portal 2 woke. Sticky Business super woke. Bioshock Infinite. Glad you realized that that's super woke. Contains overtly anti-Western society and overtly pro-DEI messaging. Columbia's residents are hyper-exaggerated, racist characters of 19th century Americans. Heavy social commentary on racism. How dare they? And yes, both other Bioshocks. Bioshock 2 contains no woke content? Oh, man. Okay, well, I'm glad a couple of these are just slipping under the radar, in that they either didn't play them or they didn't understand them enough for them to make it on the woke detector. Stardew Valley contains subtly pro-LGBTQ plus messaging. Homosexual marriage options. These are all the super woke games, you know. Pyre, Dead by Deadlight, Battlefield 5... Darkest Dungeon, Saints Row, Apollo Justice, Super Robot, Dwarf Fortress, Lunacid, Hat in Time, Far Cry 6, all super woke. Stars in Time, super woke. Factorio, not woke. Kingdom Come, Deliverance, not woke at all. Baldur's Gate 2, a little bit woke. Baldur's Gate Enhanced Edition, super woke. Ooh, then it gets really, really woke. Long Story 2, Hustle Cat, Queens at Arms. Ugh, it just goes on super woke for a while. But you can play Alex Jones, NWO Wars. Contains no woke content, no political messaging whatsoever. Thank you for keeping that game completely apolitical, clear politics. Now, if I'm not mistaken, in that game, you kill most of Alex Jones's political enemies in one way or another, from, you know, Barack Obama to Hillary Clinton, but not apolitical. I'm sure they were just done in a tasteful way. And yeah, so this list goes on and on until we get to, oh, there's some big chunks of non-wokeness. Cuphead, not considered woke at all. It does, have you played the expansion, you know, with the woman that you can play as now? I mean, is that woke? Is that pro-DEI? I think you might have trouble with that. I don't know. And then a lot more. Parasite, blah, blah, blah. I can't believe how much time someone took to classify literally thousands of video games. Like, I'm at 740 now, but we're still going. So we're going to pass the 1,000 mark right around here, where they're still pointing out wokeness. So we're at Hades 2, which is super woke, apparently. And then we're into the next ones. Depression Quest, super woke. Edgelord, super woke. Not woke. These are all like kids games. Left on Read, Try to Win 2. Amanda's Sticker Book. Amanda's Sticker Book 2, Amazing Wildlife. I assume these are all learning games. Puzzle Puppers, Gathering Sky, Cosmic Express. Well, I mean, enjoy everybody. Enjoy playing all those woke games. But obviously, wokeness is a huge problem. DEI is a huge problem, and it's influencing video games. And it's not as if people, you know, like this, are what we should be worrying about. A one Dr. Disrespect, who has returned to streaming. He's back.
Story around Dr. Disrespect just
the list has porn games in it. Are the porn games woke? Or are they unwoke?
Took a huge turn. He returned to streaming in front of 250,000 people live, which is bonkers to me. I still get excited when I get 6,000 or 7,000. But many of you, I've taken a lot of heat for saying, hey, let's wait to hear the full story. Let's wait. Many people made up their minds when he said, hey, look, I sent messages I shouldn't have to someone who I shouldn't have. And I think that that's your right to do that 100%. I wish we would see the actual messages still, but
Gross. Weird. No. Okay, so not only has he admitted it, and let's not forget that, even though he's deleted it. So the confession and it is a confession. The confession that he made, he edited. He took out the word minor, and then I guess he was like, oh shit, people are going to call me out on that. He then re-edited it, posted it again with the word minor in there, so that was the version that was left up until he deleted that post. And so that post is now gone from his Twitter history. That is true. He's deleted it. That doesn't change the fact that he admitted to it. So he admitted it. That should have been the case closed. That should have been everyone be like, oh, okay. So the story is out. Then the story came out in Rolling Stone, the one that actually showed that there was multiple testimonies from multiple people saying that he not only knew that he was messaging an underage person, he knew they were underage when he was inappropriately messaging her, and then continued to do so. And then eventually Twitch, yes, took dramatic action and didn't tell anyone about the reason why they had done what they have done to, again, protect the victims in this case. And the protecting of the victims is now kind of slowly trying to be eroded at by the creepiest people on the internet, like Jeremy Hambley here, specifically because they're massive fans of Dr. Disrespect and just can't let that guy go. You know, they just won't do it. I'm realizing that his own logo is kind of a play on the Dr. Disrespect logo. So, I mean, he goes deep. But Dr. Disrespect came back. It's true. He teased his return by posting a photo of him, I guess, like, this whole thing was part of the plan. See, I was trying to trick you all. See, he then released a trailer, which I think is like the most money any pedophile has spent trying to make people think that he's a cool pedophile, showing him like leaving an island, and everyone was like, that's Epstein Island, and him driving on a boat, and because he's still very, very rich and has a media empire. Also keep in mind that his own company that he founded, of which his brand representation is crucial to the company's actual ethos and existence, they did their own investigation, found it to be so fucked up that they dropped him from the company. He comes back, and in his return, starts to blame everyone else. Starts to be like, hey, by the way, everyone, other people have done fucked up shit. Why doesn't anyone call them out? This person did fucked up shit. This person did fucked up shit. This person tried to, straight up molest kids. Why aren't they getting the same kind of treatment that I'm getting? Why am I being singled out? Also, to the people who, exposed this was over, all right? No wrongdoing admitted. No wrongdoing admitted. He keeps saying that over and over again. And he's like, so we'd already handled this, so why in the world would you bring this back up? All this kind of stuff. Had it not been for, Cody revealing that information in his tweet that people then assumed was speaking about Dr. Disrespect, then Dr. Disrespect confirming that it was in fact him being talked about, to the whole thing then blowing up once again, and then him having to actually release a statement in which he admits to what he did, which again is grooming a kid. He groomed a kid. He had an underage fan who he contacted through private DMs. He knew he was having an inappropriate relationship with a minor, and he was trying to meet up with that minor at a TwitchCon before he was effectively dropped from Twitch altogether. Yes, no wrongdoing was admitted. There wasn't a criminal investigation. That much is true, but he is also admitted to grooming. So that, for anyone, should be enough. That should be it.
I am now, he laid out a pretty convincing case on how Twitch actually colluded to get him banned, and it looks very bad for Twitch.
Oh, do you think Twitch wanted this? Why do you think they went out of their fucking way to try and hide everything? Do you think Twitch was like, oh wow, finally we got a way to get rid of Dr. Disrespect? Turns out he's a massive ass pedophile and he's trying to sleep with his own underage fans using our network. Yeah, we got him. Yeah, this is a good highlight. This is a really awesome thing that has happened to our company. The biggest fucking brand ambassador that we have, that we just signed a monstrously huge, very lucrative deal to, turns out he's a massive ass pedo who's trying to groom underage fans using our network. Wow. Yeah, Christmas only comes once, they say.
It looks extremely targeted. Twitch did no formal investigation, and the narrative around Doc on the internet, I would say, has swung back to positive. I mean, obviously, again, some people are like, look, he admitted to talking to somebody he shouldn't have. I'm out. I respect that. Dr. Disrespect waited until now to release information so that the way he could sue multiple news outlets and Twitch.
So, I mean, at this point, it really does show you that the same people, and the Quartering is one of those people who have an empire, who profit off vilifying LGBTQ plus people as groomers and pedophiles constantly. That's how he makes his money. That's how he makes a living. And he has been doing that consistently, including with the recent mass shooting that just took place in the United States with a very young mass shooter. He was one of the first people to jump on the bandwagon with libs of TikTok and everyone else being like, oh, the shooter might be trans. We don't totally know. Oh, the shooter, it turns out, might have been a closet homosexual. We're not entirely sure. Well, more information did come out, and it turned out that the shooter harbored anti-LGBTQ plus sentiments and had messaged in a private, mass shooting Discord that is now deleted, that they were very upset at the kind of rights that trans people were getting, and all that kind of stuff. So this was, yes, once again, a shooter that falls into the school shooter profile, who's inspired by other school shooters, who's in communities filled with other people who were inspired by other school shooters, who's a troubled youth, who's a bullied youth, and yes, like most Americans who consume, fucking this kind of media, are us also anti-LGBTQ plus.
Defamation.
But when it comes to Dr. Disrespect, well, he did admit to grooming. He did admit to having an inappropriate relationship with a minor. That's true. He's admitted to that. But we haven't seen the logs. They're not going to release the logs for what reason, I don't know. And Dr. Disrespect was asked about that in his own stream. And then his response was, I would say, less than good. If Jeremy's not going to show it, I'll play it now because it's really
3,000 likes. He talked about a partner manager holding a grudge, which we're going to talk about. He was never found guilty of anything, which we knew that was also true. There's a lot of big takeaways here. Doc was never found guilty of anything. The individual who he was talking to didn't even want to file a report with Twitch, but Twitch pushed them to do so. And a lot of this was spearheaded by his old Twitch partner manager. After Doc requested he be fired or requested he be reassigned.
People want show the message, release the messages, show the messages. What are we in second grade?
Up there with about one of the worst things you could possibly say. There's a lot of things you could have said that weren't directly alluding to the fact that you are again getting called out for being a groomer. But yeah, to all the people who are requesting that, including the Quartering and other weirdos who are like, well, I mean, until I see the logs, these sexual messages between an adult and a child, until I see those and how bad they are, I can't really make judgments on my own. I don't want to just assume that it's really bad, even though he has admitted to having inappropriate, messages with a minor. He did admit to that. So I guess he did confess. And then there's the articles that came out subsequently. And then there's the investigations done by his own company. And then there's just overwhelming amounts of evidence that, yes, he's in fact a groomer. But, until we see, how will we ever know?
That the Whispers part bullet to 3,000 dislikes. The period of 1,000. Okay.
Oh, so you don't even play the clips. All you do is just everything around it. Oh, he doesn't play any of it. Oh my god. Man. The lengths that you'll go to defend a fucking pedophile, a confessed groomer, someone who admitted to it. And then it's still just like, well, there could be a conspiracy, I mean, have we looked at this? He was not found guilty of anything. He said multiple times no wrongdoing was done, even though he did admit to wrongdoing. I think what you're talking about is that there is no criminal investigation. That part's true. But like outside of that, just being like, yeah, he came back and, look how many upvotes, including myself, by the way. You're still fucking supporting this pederast, to downvotes. So there's that too. I'm guessing Geeks and Gamers is the exact same.
And I gotta say that overall, it looks like he has done himself a very good job of defending himself, even though I personally still am not satisfied. It seems like the majority of the internet is absolutely satisfied.
No! What are you talking about? I speak for the majority of the internet. Everyone is fucking really cool with Dr. Disrespect. We treated him wrong. We cast him astray. We didn't know the full story. Okay, so since no one's willing to play it, here is the great Dr. Disrespect was falsely accused.
It has affected us on so many levels. Back in 2020 and now in 2024. And Cody Connors, I just have to say it again. Why would you do this? Like I said, this was handled professionally years ago. No fucking wrongdoing. But because of you, Cody, we just lost. Fuck, man. Unfortunately, we have to lay off people from Midnight Society.
That's because of you and your grooming. You DMing a minor and then trying to meet up with them. That's who's responsible. Not people trying to tell the world about it. This is the most classic fucking guilty ass abuser strategy. To be like, and what the fuck, bro? What the fuck? Things were settled. No wrongdoing admitted. You know, things were totally fine. And then you had to come along and make a vague tweet that didn't directly call out Dr. Disrespect, by the way, in the tweet. You were the one who confirmed that they were talking about you after Jake posted that picture and then said, I assume this is about Dr. Disrespect. Then you replied with, no wrongdoing was admitted, blah, blah, blah. And then everyone was like, whoa. And then all of a sudden, yes, the floodgates opened. And all of a sudden it was like, what the fuck is going on? You had a couple of really awkward streams where you're trying to ignore all the drama around you. And then randomly, mysteriously just had to go on vacation for a month, hoping everything would die down. And then you came back. And then, yeah, it turns out when you're a super famous white cis straight male on the internet who's worth, again, tens of millions of dollars, that maybe you won't face any real consequences for your actions, especially when there's enough people waiting at the sidelines for just any crumb. You heard him, right? This is Cody's fault. No wrongdoing admitted. There's a conspiracy. I think Twitch just wanted to attack the poor doctor, the poor guy. He didn't have any control.
Right. Because of you, Cody. You know, through all this, we are where we are. And like a fucking man, I'll accept it. What I don't accept is sitting quietly by and let these idiots attack me with false accusations. No.
You admitted it! Are you attacking yourself? I know you deleted the tweet, but it's you! You're the one who admitted it! Like, if it wasn't for those geeks and gamers and those quarterings, I would just be sitting back and laughing my ass off. But there's people willing to accept this tier of history erasure and revisionism to then be like, Cody, Rod, all the people who were calling me out, what the fuck were you doing, all right? No wrongdoing was admitted. This was an open and shut case. It was done with. But you guys had to go and you guys had to fucking create drama, you know? And now people are losing their jobs in Midnight Society because of what you did. You specifically. Not me grooming the minor and then trying to meet up with them at TwitchCon and then effectively having to lose that massive contract with Twitch, or you doing the investigation, the Midnight Society doing that and dropping me from their brand because, again, the grooming and it all looks really bad. That was you. But I'm willing to take it, by which I mean erase it, lie about it, and then change the story like a man. So I'm willing to be a man about that, but then I'm not going to sit back here and just let you attack me, you know?
For all these doc haters out there too, oh man, the ones that project and project and project and project and worry about everyone else's problems, right? I can't understand that mindset. I could care less. We've always stayed in our lane. But
really, because you don't really do that for trans people. You seem to have really strong opinions. You seem to be willing to do a live stream where all of a sudden it's like they dropped Nick Merckx because it was anti-LGBTQ plus stuff, and you're like, really sucks, champions, but we got to do it. We gotta delete the entire game. Got to make a stand right now because, you know, they went after Nick Merckx, and I'm dropping it. I know it's one of my biggest games, one of my biggest viewerships, but we're doing it.
Somehow, some way, these people, they just get in our lane. For all you doc haters, I'm sure you'll dissect all of this and still find a way to publicly criticize me. Do what you need to do. I'll say this isn't for you. This was for my team today, my community, my friends, La Familia, that have supported me. And I'm not denying the exchange of whispers, champs. I'm not denying that to all of you out there. It looks bad. I have no way of knowing if the Twitch user thought our exchange of whispers was inappropriate. If it was,
weird you to say that because you said the opposite already. It would be really weird if there was a public statement that you had made in which you said that they verged on inappropriate. That would suck, you know? I have no way of knowing. How was I supposed to know the things that I was saying to a child and if they were appropriate or not? To all the people who are saying, show us the DMs, what are you, second grade? was like, was that one of the DMs? Did you just say one of the DMs out loud? Was that one of them? Did we get our first leak? Because, like, Jesus Christ, this is all so profoundly fucked up. And the fact that people, like, how does anyone watch this and then go, whoa, Doc is back. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I didn't see this coming. Damn. Yeah. The guy, well, I mean, he's a straight shooter. He's telling it like it is. Yusha, 116, thank you for the $10 dono. He's acting like if someone got involved in a drunk driving accident for the person who was drunk to blame the person who wasn't drunk for being in the road. Right? And, like, obviously for, I think, a lot of people, that's why I was kind of curious to see Asmongold's take, because let's see what the normies feel about all this.
For almost 4 years. Again, time of the ban, based on leaks or images. Half-baked changed whisper. Operations team receives and reviews the user's report. They find no issues and determine that it did not warrant any further escalation to Twitch's law enforcement response team.
Okay.
That would have been the end. That should have been the end. But that partner manager, oh boy, did he had it out. He had it out for the two-time. He finds out that no further action will be taken, so what does he do? He personally escalates the report to a friend on the Twitch.
So, hey, just so again we're completely clear on this timeline of events, this was an absolute disaster for Twitch. This was not good for Twitch. They were not happy about this. I'm very, very sure. I don't know that firsthand. I wasn't speaking to the people working there. But if you've signed, and this at the time was their biggest brand ambassador, he was known as the, quote, face of Twitch, and you just signed him to a massive new contract, and you suddenly discover that there is very demonstrable proof that he is trying to solicit sexual encounters with children through sexting and DMs with minors who happen to be fans of his, and that he's also trying to meet up with them. Yes, this is a holy fuck. How do we handle this internally without getting it to such a degree that it damages the entirety of the Twitch brand? This is why this has been, for the longest time, one of the biggest mysteries on the internet. Why did Dr. Disrespect get dropped? He hasn't explained why. That's kind of weird. Twitch hasn't explained why. All these rumors are circulating. We've heard some people suggest things like it could be something inappropriate involving a minor, but we're not entirely sure. But no one knew. And then life just kind of went on, and it was one of those things where neither party was really trying to talk about it. This was how Twitch wanted to handle this internally. Could you make an argument that the bad thing that Twitch has done in this case was not escalating it to potential, police or someone else like that? Yeah, that's an argument that can be made against Twitch in this case. Not that Twitch was conspiring against Dr. Disrespect to take him down. As in they're planting these seeds, and the employees were so sour against him, and then they had to try and leak them years later, and then he accidentally confirmed them to be true, but that was all part of the plan because they were doing... No, this stuff is all nonsense, all absolutely ridiculous. It does make sense that a company as huge as Twitch, when you're the face of your corporation, turns out to be a massive fucking pedophile and who's grooming people using your networks. That's also really bad. He was using their DMing system to do the grooming. Yeah, that's really, really fucking bad. Of course, Twitch is going to do what they did from a corporate standpoint, which is like, let's try and make as little noise, even though there will be. It's impossible for us to just drop this massive ass person who just signed a massive contract without everyone speculating, but let's see if we can get away with just that. And that'll be the end of it. And then no one will talk about this again.
The reality is, they wanted to cut down the doc. Plain and simple. Take a look.
Then why did they pay you so much money to sign you? To then take you down? Again, that makes no sense. None of this makes sense. This is only the most hardcore of Dr. Disrespect fans would listen to any of this and be like, oh, okay. You were framed when you messaged a minor for a long period of time trying to meet up with them. You were framed because people talked about it, but now you're saying it wasn't, you don't even know if it was inappropriate or not, and no wrongdoing was admitted to, so they tried to destroy your career.
Look at some of these horrendous acts of Twitch streamers that were...
Yeah, I know. That's the other funny part, is that he actually was the one who confirmed all of this. If you wanted this to all just continue to be anonymous and we don't know, you could have said nothing when Cody made that post, and then Jake said, I think this is about Dr. Disrespect. You could have not replied, and then no one would have known that this was actually Dr. There would have been no confirmation directly tying the two, right?
For timing of all this, too. Huh. The Doc's termination lines up with 2 preferable, profitable, and expensive streamers leaving Mixer.
Oh, Shroud and Ninja. Yeah.
As soon as Twitch knew that Mixer had failed. And go look at the timing.
So it's all conspiracy. It's all a conspiracy now.
Is that if Cody said something that he was sexting a minor and that he had intentions to meet the minor,
Does this happen?
if he said that and Doc lost money on it, which very clearly Doc lost money, you really think that Doc didn't lose money because of these accusations? Of course he did.
Oh my God, Asmongold, you too? Are you going right into Camp Doc? I need the summary version.
I even used the word inappropriate purposely. And look at how it's defined by everyone, champs. Huh? Including these defaming articles. I'm sorry, but mutual bantering with inappropriate jokes taken out of context should have never led to me getting banned from Twitch in the first place.
Why are you doing that with the kid? Why were you doing that with the kid? Why is anyone accepting this as being completely normal? Because it's like, oh, what? We haven't seen them yet. He was inappropriately making sexual jokes with a child, but how inappropriate? Was he doing them to solicit sex, or was he just doing them to have fun? Why are you just casually sexting kids? Should be another thing that people ask themselves.
We're talking about allegations that Twitch made against me as a half-baked reason for justifying their actions of suspending and shutting down my channel. Allegations that Twitch made without even a legal analysis of whether the Whisper messages were legal! On June 21st, 2020, my ex-Twitch partner manager learns that I exchanged Whispers with a Twitch user. And I say ex-partner manager because for years, this guy didn't do anything for me, my community, or my channel. For years, the Twitch user tells the ex-Twitch partner manager that they do not want to report anything to Twitch. I'll repeat that sentence one more time just in case anybody missed that one. The Twitch user tells this ex-Twitch partner manager, boy, did he have it out, messages and begin.
Okay, Asmongold, you've uploaded this video as your own content. You have yet to speak. We're almost 6 minutes in. Are you stealing content from Dr. Disrespect?
His director have made, they didn't do any sexting. The same people that feel charged.
Oh, this
Twitch
whole thing is
makes
just him.
Messages exchanged with any other third party,
16 or
including the
17.
partner manager. It's fucking unbelievable!
Okay. Well, yep, there's that.
If I had to sum up today's entire video in a single word, it would be stupid. There are some records which you might assume will never get broken, like Pop Quiz. What is the highest mountain above sea level? Mount Everest. That's probably not going to change, and that's great. Who is the most subscribed YouTuber on the platform? Mr. Beast. That's probably not going to change either, and that's great. And you might be 2 for 2 right now, but this last one is a trick question. What is the worst apology video on YouTube? Now, you might be tempted to answer Colleen Ballinger's apology video for grooming, in which she did not apologize for grooming at all, but instead played the ukulele for 10 minutes and called everybody who was criticizing her part of the toxic gossip train.
Yeah, and also that she's not a groomer. She's a loser. I'm not a groomer. I'm a loser. You know, just that weird kind of quirky aunt who just wanted to have conversations with some of my underage fans. That doesn't make me a groomer. That just makes me a loser. You know? I was like, well, in this case, probably both, right? But this doesn't answer a lot of the more very serious accusations that have been levied against you that there's some pretty disturbing evidence of.
The ukulele apology would have been the correct answer at any point from its inception all the way until yesterday, because the streamer Dr. Disrespect has just returned to the platform to drop his apology for interacting with a minor from his fanbase inappropriately. And as you're going to see, this chaotic, rambling 5-hour live stream is without a doubt the new worst apology video on YouTube. But first, welcome.
This is the correct response. This is a good take. This is someone who has viewed, watched, and followed the story, and is not just sitting there being like, "Oh, the doc has some receipts." No, he doesn't. He's just saying things. Yeah, but he's saying that there's kind of a conspiracy against him. That there's these disgruntled Twitch employees, and that no wrongdoing was admitted. And what about that? And that he planted the inappropriate part. So, ooh.
My name is D'Angelo, and I am your professor of solar power lines.
Tigwig, thanks for giving a tier 1 sub to Maple Takes.
Of communication, which is a very real degree that I definitely do have. Or maybe this is just me broadcasting myself talking in my room like YouTube used to be. And in today's lecture, we are going to grade Dr. Disrespect's apology video. He's been gone for over 2 months, I guess just planning his reaction to a controversy that has been following him around for 4 years. And you're not gonna believe how someone could have 4 full years to come up with a response. And this is what they decide to go with. So the best way to understand what Dr. Disrespect did is to look at it within the context of who Dr. Disrespect is. And Dr. Disrespect is remarkably stupid. That's really the only way he can be described as far as I'm concerned. But first, quick note about his name, which is a bit of a mouthful. In this video, I think I'm mostly going to be referring to him as Beam. That's his name, Guy Beam, which will probably be a little easier to say in a video several hundred times. And I'm also referring to him this way because it's important to note, above all, Guy Beam is a creep. Like if this was not the internet and there was just some 40-year-old creep putting on a weird costume to lure children into a private space where he could talk to them inappropriately, aka the exact thing that Beam did, in the same costume he wears in all of his appearances, including his apology stream, just because that weirdo has a silly online handle, that doesn't really supersede your identity as a certified creep. Like, make no mistake, Dr. Disrespect isn't some sort of identity that needs to be respected. It's just his job title, a persona, and the mechanism that enabled him to be this creepy in the first place. If James Charles, of all people, tried to come back and rebrand himself as like Fortnite God 73, forgive me for most likely continuing to refer to him as James Charles. In fact, if anything, Beam is just James Charles, but in 17 years. An age range which both of them are a little too familiar with. Now, because the word stupid is a fairly strong accusation to level towards somebody, we're just going to go over a brief recap of all of Beam's top moments, in which you'll very quickly realize that anytime he has ever gone viral, it's because of some controversy that could only happen to you if you are one of the dumbest people on the internet. Example number 1. Besides Dr. Disrespect, to his fans, he's also commonly known as the Doc and the Two-Time, a nickname that he gave himself because he claims to be the two-time 1993 to 1994 blockbuster video game champion. And so what is the worst possible way that branding yourself as the Two-Time could backfire? Probably by going viral in 2017 for cheating on your wife. This man named himself Two-Time and then revealed himself as a two-timing cheater who betrayed his wife and family.
As you guys know, I have a beautiful family and a wife and kid, and I want to be transparent that I've been unfaithful.
He spent the entirety of this very short announcement shedding alligator tears.
Stupid mistakes, man.
This seems like a great time to bring up my opinion, which for some reason is considered a hot take by some people on the internet, but cheating is not a mistake. It's a deliberate choice that involves several steps over an extended period of time in which you have chosen to cheat before, during, and after. And regardless of whether you change afterwards or the severity of the consequences of those actions, I have literally never felt sympathy for anybody who has cheated when they had the ability to leave the relationship beforehand. Like, by all means, cry, feel terrible even, but I'm not really sure what you want me to do about that. Anyway, let's look at Exhibit 2 of Beam continuing to disprove natural selection. By 2019, he had bounced back from the cheating scandal, quickly becoming one of the most recognizable streamers on the internet. And yet, despite all the work it took to build back up his reputation, he threw it all away in literally one day. Imagine getting such a huge second chance at internet fame and then getting your main account banned because you walked into a bathroom. Dr. Disrespect streams inside an E3 bathroom, gets banned from Twitch. So he went to a gaming convention and decided to live stream the entire thing, including using the men's restroom, in which he violated the privacy of everybody inside without their consent, thereby resulting in not only the well-deserved Twitch ban, but also getting his E3 badge revoked. In 2019, Dr. Disrespect got kicked out of a convention for being a creep. Multiple people were visible in the stream, including some of them who were using the bathroom. And to risk your entire business for something that could have been avoided by simply taking a 2-minute break on your stream really indicates that, once again, the man is dumb. So the final moment that I would like to look at that proves that the wig may actually be affecting his brain at this point involves last year when he got triggered by somebody including pronouns in their bio.
Got it. Okay. Now everything's starting to make sense. Everything's starting to make sense now. Everything's starting to make sense. Got it.
This man isn't going to be very happy when he learns that his pronouns are also he, him. So you may be thinking to yourself like, wait, that moment didn't really hit like the other ones. Like, yes, obviously getting triggered by somebody else's pronouns is insanely stupid, but this is something that a lot of people do. It doesn't really have that Dr. Disrespect je ne sais quoi, until it was later revealed that one of the people he cheated on his wife with was a self-described trans sex worker who posted extremely clear evidence that Dr. Disrespect was in fact texting her inappropriately. Live your life, Guy Beam, but maybe not at the expense of your entire family, and maybe not while also signal boosting the transphobic rhetoric that including your pronouns in your bio is somehow bad. So that is your Guy Beam biography. Naming yourself the two-time and then getting exposed as a two-timing cheater, thriving after the cheating scandal only to get banned for walking into a bathroom, and pretending to be anti-trans.
Filming in the bathroom, we should add.
when you are very much into trans people. Guy is a very appropriate name because Beam is
Chaser.
literally his own fall guy. He just lives in a constant cycle of setting himself up to look like the worst person in every single situation. But unfortunately, when the situation involved a minor, he demonstrated all of the stupidity but none of the comedic irony. So despite getting banned from Twitch for streaming in a bathroom, he was very quickly let back on and then offered an exclusive contract because he exploited the infinite second chance glitch called having privilege. But then just months after signing the multi-year Twitch deal, he was banned from the platform again. But this time, two things became very clear. This time, the ban was permanent, and everybody involved in this ban, including Beam, was keeping the reason a massive secret. Dr. Disrespect returns to live streaming on YouTube, offers no new info on Twitch ban. And so after moving from Twitch to YouTube, he played dumb the entire time. Honestly, we just
Yeah, and that was one of the reasons why at that time I was like, yeah, there's not really a clear indication as to what happened, but it's really profoundly mysterious and strange that he's also staying silent, right? Like, you'd think if he got let go for an unfair reason, this dude, of all people, would not shut the fuck up about it. Because that's just, like, you can just tell, that's his persona, right? Like, I don't respect you. I disrespect you. I'm the doctor of doing it, all right? And I can't believe they would fuck me over this way. You'd think he would just be, like, he just wouldn't shut the fuck up. But instead he was, like, eerily silent. And then didn't discuss it. Then released that random little video of him, like, you know, in the rain or whatever with the 80s music in the background, and then hinted his return, and then just came back to YouTube and just been on YouTube ever since.
just don't know. It was a total shock. Imagine showing up to work and the doors are closed and you can't get inside. You've been fired, but you haven't been told the reason why. We weren't given an answer. It was the worst feeling. Now, many people begin to speculate that regardless of the reason, if it was serious enough for his infinite second chance glitch to fail, it must have been something pretty serious. But he managed to keep it a secret for 4 years until just a couple months ago, Rolling Stone drops an article called Dr. Disrespect knowingly sent
Okay, so just to fill in the gap there, it wasn't that this article by Rod suddenly dropped. It was that Rod was one of the few people who had known a lot of the details about this, but had never had, and in journalism you have to do this if you're going to be publishing a story on a topic, he had never had a direct confirmation from two direct sources. He had had secondhand sources, and those are good. Those are good for an article to try and build upon your story, but you have to have, especially for an allegation of this severity, you have to have a first-hand source, as in you have to have either spoken directly to a member of the Twitch team that was responsible for firing him and be told by them this is the reason why, and then you have confirmation that it was because of him having an inappropriate relationship with a child, or you would have to have spoken to the victims themselves, something to that effect. But he never had that, which is why he had to stay silent on the story for so long. What happens before this article drops recently was that randomly Cody, one of the ex-Twitch employees, made a post that didn't name Dr. Disrespect itself, but then distinctly brought attention to the fact that, hey, everyone doesn't know this famous streamer, blah, blah, blah. He was fired for inappropriately sexting a minor, and that was just put out there into the ether. And then Jake, a person who usually follows online Twitch drama, said, I think this is about Dr. Disrespect. Still no confirmation. Dr. Disrespect personally replied to that message, and that's when everyone was like, oh my god, it's him. Because he's the one who's like, hey, this is an old story, nothing inappropriate, no wrongdoing was admitted, this is over, Jake, don't know why you're bringing it up, haha, kind of thing. And then that's when all of a sudden it was like, oh my god. And then all the floodgates start pouring in. That's when all of a sudden there's an internal investigation launched by Midnight Society. They find in their own internal investigation things were so bad that they had to actually drop Dr. Disrespect from the brand. And then Rod puts out the story where he has now effectively at this point of the story connected a lot of the dots, spoken to a lot of the people, even people he wasn't able to before, that actually paint the full picture, which is much worse than even the one that Dr. Disrespect admitted to in his like confessional statement. In this article, when you read it, it gets into detail about how he not only knew that they were underage, he was aware of that and continued to pursue this relationship with a minor.
Explicit messages to a minor, former Twitch employee says. Now, Beam tried to ignore this very serious allegation. Listen, I'm obviously tied to legal obligations from the settlement with Twitch, but I need to say what I can say since this is the internet. I didn't do anything wrong. All this has been probed and settled, nothing illegal, no wrongdoing was found, and I was paid. So no wrongdoing was found is not really the surest sign that somebody's innocent, but at the end of the day, Twitch did not officially reveal the reason. It was sort of an employee's word against his, or should I say multiple, ex-Twitch employees, one of which who provided Rolling Stone with a detailed account of internal conversations at Twitch following the report of Beam's messages, and another one who told Rolling Stone that Dr. Disrespect was reported to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children the day of his ban, in compliance with federal law. Beam did not immediately respond to a request for comment on this. So the article makes it very clear that just due to the safety of the minor who was involved, these messages cannot be revealed. That is why nobody has publicly seen any evidence of these messages, despite this article seeming alarmingly credible. But then 3 days later, Beam just hopped on Twitter and completely admitted to messaging a minor inappropriately. inappropriately, thus confirming that the messages were in fact real and the Twitch employees were not lying about the reason behind his ban. The Twitch ban. Hello, I'd like to make a quick statement. Something about these quick statements is they're never quick for some reason. Let's cut the BS. As you know, there's no filter with me. I've always been upfront and real with you guys.
All right, we've read this in full, but yes, it does get to the point where he says, were there Twitch whisper messages with an individual minor? He took minor out, but put minor back in. Back in 2017, the answer is yes. You're free, all you fucking Beam fans, Guy Beam fans who are like, oh, I don't know if Daddy's actually evil. Is Daddy a pedophile? Well, you're free now. You don't have to worry about that. You can move on to finding another Daddy or a different internet superstar / streamer of choosing that isn't, you know, pretty involved and has a history of trying to, you know, solicit relationships with children.
However, now nobody can see any version of the tweet because while he disappeared for 2 months after admitting to the inappropriate messages, Dr. Disrespect says he's coming back soon, deletes his admission of inappropriately texting a minor, and this 5-hour comeback stream, which is already sitting at 2.4 million views, was called The Truth. And it started off with Beam playing Wordle, the guessing game where you have to submit 5-letter words until you find the right one. Let's see, creep, minor, groom, doesn't look like the right word either, nasty, no, it's not idiot. Well, it looks like the word of the day when Beam recorded this stream was rerun, which I guess is very fitting for somebody who's completely washed up. So his attempt at an explanation and to clear his name begins about 25 minutes in.
For almost 4 years, the public demanded to hear from the doc regarding the Twitch suspension. I guess since you all missed the point with my personal statement, maybe it's time to tell my side of the story.
Never mind the fact that his personal statement was his side of the story, and there is literally no way to misinterpret inappropriately texting a minor when you were 35 years old. This person was a child, and at a minimum, Beam would have been twice their age. So let's see what excuses he has for this.
Ex-Twitch employee wasn't even involved, leaks Twitch's reported reason years later. But why do this?
Why not? Honestly, like, why not do this? You'd better believe that if I knew somebody had this massive platform, 4.6 million subscribers even now, and I also knew that this person had messaged someone from that fan base inappropriately while they were a child, the moment I could safely reveal that information, I would do it.
What was the point? You decided, you rat, to leak the reported reason Twitch banned me.
I think the point was accountability, that thing that you're apparently so good at taking.
Did you not know the repercussions of accusing me? You said that I got banned from Twitch because I was sexting a minor through Whisper's messages? Do you even know what the legal definition of sexting is? I do.
Okay.
I was like, I bet you do at this point. I bet you're very well versed in when that line gets crossed because you have to talk to lawyers about it.
First of all, dear God. Secondly, when I heard that line, I just knew then and there. I knew then and there this was on track to outpace the ukulele apology as the worst attempt at speaking up for yourself I have ever heard on the internet. An attempt that was doomed from the start because you—
Yeah, do you know the legal age of consent in every single state and district? I do. I do. Do you know how far away you need to be from a school in order to be considered an offender? I do. I do. Like, okay. Kind of sounds like you're a pedophile.
Are in fact guilty of the thing everybody is accusing you of.
You also said the word minor. I even made sure that word was emphasized in my statement, edited, etc., just to make sure these so-called journalists would...
This is the Drake defense. This is Drake making the song where he's like, A minor, what about B major? When like you're just like, no, there's no good way to make a track. There's no way to make a bop about you not being a pedophile. You know, Frank tried and It's Always Sunny. It doesn't work. It doesn't matter how funny you are, how amazing you are. You can't do that shit. You can't be here like, I was planting the idea. You see, I intentionally used the word minor to see whether or not people would take it, and then they'd run with it and all this other kind of stuff. It was like, no, you deleted it at first because you knew how bad it looked. And then afterwards, when you got called out on deleting it, you're like, oh, okay, fine, I'll keep it in there. And then you just left that up. And then all of a sudden you deleted the whole thing. Get rid of it.
Pick up on it. And boy, oh boy, did they ever.
So, okay, hold on. I'm trying to like shift my brain into stupid right now. Patrick from SpongeBob, Minions, Guy Beam. Okay, I think I'm there and I can understand what he's saying. You told the entire world that you were inappropriately messaging a minor because you were trying to bait journalists? What are you on right now?
When you and all these so-called journalists fired off your tweets, did any of you consider that the Twitch user may have been over the legal age of consent at the time of the messages?
May have been over the age of legal consent? Sure doesn't sound like 18 to me. You want to go ahead and say the age, or?
You also tried to tell the world that I was trying to meet up with this user at TwitchCon.
Oh, okay, no, I guess we don't want to say this person's age. So there's that. Going to go ahead and stick with Beam's original admission.
You're a primary source. It's true. You are the primary source. He admitted. Like, Are you trying to imply that the messages were with a minor who was underage in the way that I admitted to messaging a minor who was underage?
Here and point out that this person was a child.
We never
Well, no, again, it's 5D chess on a level. Again, I don't have a triple-digit IQ, so I can't comprehend what he's operating on right now.
made plans to meet at TwitchCon or anywhere else, and in fact, we never met in person ever. I suspect all of you sort of planned and coordinated this attack.
Well, it didn't take long to pull out that play. You guys just tried to convince everyone that I'm a creep because you hated me, and I played along because journalists? Question mark? Like, this is literally falling apart in real time as he is delivering it.
If these anonymous sources worked on the trust and safety team at the time of my Twitch suspension in 2020, then you would hope they would tell the truth. But apparently that's just too much to ask. If these former trust and safety team members, and by the way, I know exactly who they are.
Okay, he's scaring me. I'm scared, and I need an adult. I am an adult, though, to be clear. Had to throw that out there because I don't want any Dr. DMs.
The same employees that decided to ban me internally admitted that the whisper messages were not sexting. Twitch's trust and safety team, the same employees that decided to ban me, internally acknowledged that the whispers did not constitute child sexual abuse material CSAM.
Oof, okay. So if the strongest defense you have against the fact that everyone believes you are a creep and a groomer is that technically your messages did not constitute child sexual exploitation materials,
which he's already said before. He was like, no pictures were sent. It's fine. No pictures were sent. And it's like, well, yeah, you might be, giving this this statement from a jail cell right now. Had that happened, that doesn't make any of this okay, though, right? If this is this the bar now? Is this the tier where it's like, oh, okay, come on, everybody. I was having an inappropriate relationship with a minor. I was trying to meet up with that minor at TwitchCon, and I was inappropriately sexually messaging that minor, but we didn't exchange photos. And no wrongdoing was admitted, so, checkmate.
Bar is in hell at this point. Or maybe we are, considering this video has 2 million views.
Neither I nor the Twitch user exchanged any sexual graphic messages or images. I even used the word inappropriate purposely. And look at how it's defined by everyone, champs. Huh? Including these defaming articles.
Y'all, this is just so painful. I believe we're witnessing internet history here. I have never seen somebody defend themselves against an action by saying that they admitted to it to trick everybody into believing they did it, even though they didn't. But if inappropriate...
Again, that's why it feels like Drake, because Drake was doing this whole thing where, like, we planted the information, and it's just like, so wait, you had another child with another woman that you didn't tell anyone about, and you did that as a secret plot so that Kendrick could write a song about it years later, and all the inappropriate, like, times that you've had publicly and privately with underage, like, fans of yours have been part of this long game plant to make it look bad years later, and then be able to say, haha, I got you all. And it's like, but it's not so much a 180 here. It's not like a rug pull if you're admitting to doing really fucked up gross shit, even if you're saying I did that really fucked up gross shit in order to make you think I'm a gross person who does fucked up shit. Yeah, you are. And you're admitting to it. And now it's like, I still don't get where the gotcha comes in.
It wasn't the right word to use. Then what, pray tell, was?
I'm sorry, but mutual bantering with inappropriate jokes taken out of context should have never led to me getting banned from Twitch in the first place.
Ah, okay. Mutual banter with inappropriate messages. So inappropriate messages. What message can be taken out of context to make it seem like you are inappropriate?
By the way, Dr. Disrespect is live right now because the algorithm has fed it to me, because I guess I had watched the Dr. Disrespect thing previously, and when he's not talking about drama and just playing video games, it's 23,000. 23,000 people watching. To every single person who's like, so 250,000 people tuned in to the Dr. Disrespect. Yeah, I'm not surprised by that. I assume a lot of people, including myself, not a Dr. Disrespect fan, were tuning in to see how bad this train wreck could get. And yes, he delivered. And then when people aren't there to watch that, yeah, it has gone down to, let's just say 10 times less viewers.
Really messaging a minor, the thing that you said you did and are also saying you did here, and now he seems to think he didn't even deserve the ban when the platform that they banned you on was the one you were using to access this child.
Look, if all of your private DMs, your text messages, your chats were looked at, dissected, and taken out of context by someone who's deliberately trying to find something inappropriate in those words.
Not like I was sexting a child, that's for sure. I feel like that's the case for most people who don't talk to kids half their age about weird stuff on the internet.
We're talking about allegations that Twitch made against me as a half-baked reason for justifying their actions of suspending and shutting down my channel. Allegations that Twitch made without even a legal analysis of whether the Whisper messages were legal!
This dude is cracked. Like, genuinely, he has just lost it. I don't even know how else to put it. You're cracked, you're cooked. It's crazy that you think this is a good defense. It's crazy that you were messaging a child like this in the first place, let alone trying to now drag us into this fantasy world where you didn't deserve the ban regardless of that. And also it was okay because it was just taken out of context. A context which you are completely unwilling to give any more information on. Probably because it would make him look even worse somehow. But he's sure doing a good enough job of making himself look worse already. Because yelling like a maniac about how technically nothing you did was illegal doesn't really have the effect he seems to think it does.
So after we signed with Twitch in 2019, we asked for a new partner manager. Just a few months later, that ex-Twitch partner manager is directly involved with getting me banned. Coincidence?
Okay, what in the world was that? Coincidence? You think you put the curly hair on?
No, it seems like the system was working as it should. You had someone who was in charge of handling your account because you're one of, if not the largest streamer on the platform, and that person suddenly found out some pretty fucked up shit, you know, while working on your behalf. Again, nothing that Twitch wanted. There's no world in which this was good for Twitch on any level.
And you're a TikToker now, like, what was that all about?
The Twitch user tells this ex-Twitch partner manager that they do not want to report anything to Twitch. But this ex-Twitch partner manager encourages the user and even directs them to file a report directly with Twitch, even though the user told him clearly that we never physically met anywhere and that no photographs were exchanged.
So a child came to an adult in your life and was unwilling to go to authorities about you being inappropriate with them. But then this adult very rationally, very correctly helped them understand that this was inappropriate and needs to be escalated. But he is now spinning this as, actually, that guy just had a grudge against me. This is genuinely unhinged.
On June 24th, 2020, Twitch's special operations team receives and reviews the user's report. They find no issues and determine that it did not warrant any further escalation to Twitch's law enforcement response team. But that partner manager, oh boy, did he had it out. He had it out for the two times.
So his manager, random ex-Twitch employees, and the media, all journalists, I guess, are his ops, because this man seems to think that the character he's playing is the main character of everybody's life.
He finds out that no further action will be taken, so what does he do? He personally escalates the report to a friend on the Twitch's LER team. The LER team, remember, that's the Twitch's law enforcement response team. The LER analyst cherry picks and sends a few targeted excerpts out of context from the Whisper messages to this director. Now, if you do this, you can make anyone's messages look inappropriate.
So Twitch's law enforcement team did determine that your messages constituted a ban. Great, got it. Useful information.
This LER analyst and his director have made the decision to suspend me from Twitch. Twitch submits that report. The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Guess what? As far as I know, and over 4 years have passed, they didn't do anything with the report. They didn't escalate Twitch's report to law enforcement.
That's a really gross and weird thing to be so giddy about. Like, even though I was reported to the Child Exploitation and Safety Services, they didn't take legal action against me. What does that tell you? I don't know. That you're an extreme creep and people should be worried. Like, hide your kids.
Man really just pulled out the Drake defense. This man really just did that with his whole chest. If I was being a predator, I'd promise I'd have been arrested. I'm way too famous for the thing you just suggested. If I really did the wrong thing, there would have been legal ramifications. There were it. That's my absolute proof that I did nothing wrong.
Twitch makes this decision to terminate my contract and ban me without ever interviewing me, the user, or any other third party, including the partner manager. It's unbelievable!
It's actually so very believable, because the age of consent being lower than 18 wouldn't change the fact that you were sending inappropriate messages to a child regardless of their age. So do you honestly think that Twitch wants any of that smoke over you? Absolutely not.
The judge in the case determined that the whispers were not illegal. So then why did Twitch use these messages against me? Why did Twitch treat the doc so differently from their other streamers?
Their other streamers. All right, so now we've pulled out the part of the playbook where we start pointing out that other people have also done the wrong thing and they didn't get consequences.
But I also didn't do all the shit that they're saying I did. But then that doesn't make a story, right? They wanted media attention. The media wants controversy.
Anonymous Twitch employees wanted media attention, only one of which is public at this point. Pretty sure the attention seeker would be the one wearing the same outfit that lures children into the fan base in the first place. But anyways,
you all got what you wanted at the expense of the two-time. The reality is they wanted to cut down the doc, plain and simple.
But why? Why do people like this think the entire world is out to get them? I know it just has to be an ego thing, but How could you truly believe that anybody cares about you that much?
Take a look at some of these horrendous acts of Twitch streamers that were never banned. A streamer that frequently used the N-word while publicly streaming. Streamer was reported for discussing doing things with deceased animals. Streamer was reported for a sexually explicit stream involving children and telling children to send Snapchats. It's so obvious that certain Twitch executives, employees involved had personal biases against the doc.
So because he's not racist, into bestiality, or looking at videos of children, this is why Twitch should not have banned you? I don't even know who the streamers he's referring to are, or if these stories are real, or if they exist, or whatever, but it kind of doesn't matter at all in this specific case, because it's only being used as deflection. If you know who these people are and they're such monsters, then just say it. You know what I mean? Like, why would you take this really serious information and only use it as a reason for why you think you shouldn't have been banned?
You see, I shouldn't even be.
And it also doesn't take away the fact that you're a groomer, right? Like, you don't become less of a groomer if you're like, I know about a whole bunch of guys who do even more fucked up shit that I'm accused of, all right? We're talking like bestiality and stuff. I'm not going to tell you who they are. I'm going to allow them to continue to do the fucked up shit that they do, but I'm just saying they get away with it. They get away, but I'm the bad guy, okay?
Banned from Twitch. I just have to say it again. Why would you do this? This was handled professionally years ago.
Oh yeah, it's whataboutism.
Man. Unfortunately, we have to lay off people from Midnight Society.
So innocent people in your employ are now being affected by your actions, but you're going to go ahead and blame this on the fact that you got outed as a creep, not on the fact that you are a creep. Is the accountability in the room with us right now? Because I'm really not picking up on it.
For all you doc haters, I'm sure you'll just like dissect all of this and still find a way to publicly criticize me. Do what you need to do.
I'm going to be so real with you right now. I don't even have to find a way to publicly criticize this person. I literally could have just ripped this section of the stream in its entirety and then posted it on my channel. And I'm pretty sure the comments would still be the same, which is that you are an unhinged creep. So the man's doing a bit more of the heavy lifting here than he seems to realize.
And I'm not denying the exchange of whispers, champs. I'm not denying that to all of you out there, it looks bad. I have no way of knowing if the Twitch user thought our exchange of whispers was inappropriate. If it was, I apologize.
And there it was. I'm sorry if I offended you.
Oh, so that was the apology, because I was like, I don't think he even apologized, but I guess he theoretically apologized. Like, if what I was saying to a kid who happens to be one of my fans was verging on inappropriate, which I have also admitted to, so I've actually confessed to the fact that it was inappropriate. But if that turns out, my own words, to be true, so if I was actually telling the truth when I confessed to it, then I apologize. Then okay, fine. Maybe that was a little bad. Yeah.
This is it. This is it. This is just it. Like, as far as I'm concerned, it's not even a question in my mind. This is the worst YouTuber apology of all time. Hands down, no more submissions.
Yeah, I think I have to agree with D'Angelo on this one. That is really, really bad. Especially because, A, you admitted to it. B, you not only admitted to it, but you now have tried all these other strategies, such as, like, I'm going to blame the people who exposed me. I'm going to blame Twitch. I'm going to blame other creeps who apparently have been caught. But I'm well aware of all their transgressions, but I'm not going to help them get caught. I'm going to continue to allow them to do that. Like, everyone else but yourself. And then going after like Cody and being like, yeah, and like that's why people got fired from Midnight Society. You got fired from Midnight Society, your own company, because they did an investigation. That investigation revealed that shit was so bad that they were like, oh yeah, sorry, we know that this is incredibly dramatic to do because you are literally the face and branding of this company, but we have to remove you from it because you're a pedo. You know, you were grooming.
I have no idea how this could ever be topped. I thought that about the ukulele, but this is like so much worse in my opinion.
I'm not saying anything more about any of this unless I need to, because trust me,
yeah, at least the ukulele is like it's like infinitely memeable, and you can, you know, fucking there's so many parody songs and all that kind of stuff. Don't get me wrong, still profoundly fucked up, gross, and like she should be held accountable and did not truly take any accountability for the fucked up shit that she'd been doing her entire career. But like, yeah, insofar as a public figure of this magnitude who has done something so fucked up, to come forward and then be like, ah, I planted it. You fools, you rubes, you fell for it. All of you. You all fell for my trap. What a carefully crafted trap I did by being a lifelong weirdo creep. Yeah, but you all fell into it.
have more I haven't disclosed. I just want to get back to what we do best.
Setting yourself up for failure and then failing, and then everyone laughs at you, and then you look dumb. He is very good at that. I guess I do have to give the doc props where they're due. And so, just in case there was any question about this being the worst, after supposedly ending this rant, people were saying, yo, why don't you just show the messages, since they are apparently taken out of context? And I'm not advocating that the messages were shared, since multiple people seem to deem that this would have been a safety issue, but his response to this, once again,
yeah, and again, it's why do you want to see them? Why do you want, like, okay, so we've had both people who worked in Twitch and people who've spoken on this, who have seen them, have described them as sexting and sexual in nature. And also in that, Rolling Stone article, it goes on to say that even though he was made aware of the victim's age, he continued to pursue, despite the fact that the victim was underage. So he was both aware that they were underage, he was both aware that he was messaging a minor, and he was having, again, an inappropriate sexting relationship with this minor, who he eventually was trying to meet up with. All that is now, that's like, in the public record. So why do you want to read them? Like, is that not enough? Like, anything you read is going to be fucking gross. It's going to be between a pedophile, a 42-year-old pedophile, and his victim, and him trying to sext his victim.
Then is him saying the worst possible thing he could in this situation.
People want,
Show the message. Release the messages. Show the messages.
what are we in 2nd grade?
What are we? In 2nd grade, says the man whose legacy is now inappropriately messaging a minor, admitting to it, and then trying to come back and say it's fine though, because technically it wasn't illegal. Your last 2 words on this statement are 2nd grade. This is the...
All right, so of all the takes, I gotta say, D'Angelo did the best one.
Hey, if you'd like to unlock secret bonus episodes as well as uncensored content, go to patreon.com/theserfs. This show is produced by Anna Loves Riley, Arian McCarthy, Cheryl Alvarez, Comrade Junkie, Doug Caddy, Everything Important, Hagbard Celine, Jimmy Sombrero, Multimondi, Omni, Political Puppy, Preston Kroll, Quiet 185, Riley and Anna, Roller Dragon, Cernicus, Stellar Gwyn, Sebastian Demel, Travis McClinton, Trincel, Words Greenwood, with additional support coming from all of these amazing human beings right here.